In the world of commercial-grade electronic time-doserless dedicated espresso grinders with 64mm burrs, the Mazzer and Ceado brands may have the most popular offerings. Hey espresso lovers, Marc here from WholeLatteLove.com. Today, a look at a newer brand to enter the field with similar specs. I've got ECM's S-Automatik 64. The 64 is the burr size in millimeters, which matches those of the Ceado E6P and Mazzer's Mini Type A and Type B. The ECM is designed in Germany and handcrafted in Italy. Currently, the ECM grinder sits in the middle of the pack price-wise. The Ceado E6P runs a few hundred less, and the Mazzer's about 100 more. During this review, I'll cover how the ECM compares to the others to help you make an informed purchase decision. So first up, let's look at the specs. I'll have the 64mm flat stainless burrs with stepless infinite grind size adjustment. On the Ceado and Mazzer's, adjustments are made by turning a collar. The ECM uses a worm gear, and we'll talk more about that. I'll have timing presets for single and double shot doses and can grind manually. Timing is adjusted by turning a screw on the Ceado and Mazzer Mini Type B. On the ECM and Mini Type A, timing is adjusted electronically in 1/10 of a second intervals on the ECM and 1/20th of a second on the Mini Type A. Look at the seal of the grinding chamber from the adjustment threads. It's good on the Ceado, excellent on the ECM, and well, not so great on the Mazzer's. For me, that seal is a big deal. A better seal means less coffee and coffee oils getting up into the fine threads responsible for grind size adjustment. When those get gummed up, adjustment becomes difficult, maybe even jumpy, which can make fine, accurate adjustments hard to do. While the Mazzer is prone to this problem, the ECM has an O-ring on the collar, which does a good job of sealing off the grinding chamber from the adjustment threads. For making grind size adjustments, the ECM uses a unique worm gear, which turns the adjustment collar. A couple of nice benefits with that. First, no need for a lock screw on the collar, as it's nearly impossible for the grind setting to slip. The worm gear can turn the collar, but the force from the collar cannot turn the gear. But the big deal is how easy it is to make extremely precise grind size adjustments. A one-notch adjustment on the collar of some grinders can mean as much as a gram difference in dosing. Now, one full turn of the ECM's worm gear shaft results in a one-notch adjustment of the collar, but it's easy to do, say, just a quarter turn of that worm gear shaft, even less if you need to. That worm gear makes it very easy to be extra precise. Now, going back to the specs, we see that Ceado is the tallest of the bunch. The ECM grinder is the shortest at 16.33 inches, and the Mazzer is just a little taller at just under 17 inches. Something to keep in mind if you have the typical 18-inch overhanging cabinetry. As for motors, the ECM has the most power at 450 watts, followed by the Ceado at 300, and the Mazzer's with 250 watts. The Ceado and ECM spin the burrs at 1400 RPM, while the Mazzer's run at 1600. In use, one bump with a portafilter delivers a preset single dose. Bump twice for the double preset, or push and hold against the start switch for manual grinding until you release. Time grinding can be stopped at any time by bumping the switch again. Grounds are delivered to a portafilter by a beautiful angled spout. They fall well centered and nice and fluffy with little to no clumping or spill. Preset timing is adjusted using a display very similar to the PID display found on many espresso machines. Timing can be adjusted in 1/10 of a second increments. You can also view the total number of doses delivered by pressing and holding the plus button for an extended period. The exterior case is a beautiful mirror finished stainless steel. It features very nice edge work around the top and on the ground chute. A prominent ECM logo badge sits above the display. When not grinding, the display alternates a series of bars letting you know the unit is on. One curious aspect is a slightly visible seam in the casework that runs up the front of the grinder. There's a lot to like about this grinder, but for me, that seam, well, I'd like it even more if that wasn't there. The bean hopper is nice, more detailed than you see on most, with a snug-fitting lid and an O-ring around the throat of the grinder. It makes for a solid fit. A set screw can lock the hopper in place, and a sliding door shuts off bean flow when needed. A grounds tray catches any spill for easy cleanup, and on the back side of the grinder there's a vent to help cool the motor during extended use. So, who might consider this grinder? Well, if you already have an ECM machine, it's definitely designed to complement its look, from the mirror finished external case to the grounds chute, which mimics the angle of an E61 brew group, to the badging. It's going to look really nice sitting next to your machine. But you don't have to have an ECM espresso machine. I like that worm gear adjustment. It makes it very easy to make super fine changes to grind size. Compared to the Ceado, it costs more but is more refined, much shorter, and doesn't have all the plastic. Compared to the venerable and slightly more expensive Mazzer Mini A's and B's, it's more compact, and I prefer the ECM's better isolation of the grinding chamber from the threads of the adjustment collar. And the ECM has the most powerful motor of the bunch at 450 watts versus the Mazzer's 250 and the Ceado's 300. That's the ECM S-Automatik 64 Burr Grinder. It's available now at WholeLatteLove.com. Now, if you have any questions on this grinder or anything coffee, use the comments below and I'll get you the answers. I'm Mark. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll come back soon for more of the good stuff on everything coffee. Hey, why not subscribe now for easy free access to more videos on everything coffee, brought to you by WholeLatteLove.com.